The Israeli Army's Golani Brigade wraps up a large 2-week exercise on the Golan Heights. This drill was aimed not at preparing for an all-out war, but to respond to a new threat that has emerged on this once quiet outback facing Syria.
Statements that were made by high-ranking Syrian officials that the border will become a border with terror is something we're dealing with every day.
Lieutenant Colonel Anan Abbas, the deputy commander of the area, showed us the crossing in Quneitra where a large skirmish took place between rebels and the Syrian army last month. He takes us into no man's land and points to the area where in June, Israel's military forces faced an almost explosive situation.
All the burnt ground you have here is a result of the fighting that happened here. It was a morning full of fighting between the Syrian army and the rebels who were shooting at one another.
To strike back at the rebels, the Syrian army moved several tanks and armored vehicles into the area, while Israel had tanks, special forces, and the Air Force at the ready. How close do you feel on that day, during all of this fighting, that you came to an all-out response?
If we had seen that there'd been a leakage of direct fire into our territory, we would have reacted immediately and destroyed the source of fire.
The Israelis are also beefing up their intelligence gathering, tripling resources over the last 6 months. Soldiers now monitor this area around the clock. The IDF shared some pictures showing Syrian army movements right next to the security fence. In this video given to us by the IDF, you can see Syrian mortar positions firing at Israeli forces. Within minutes, the position is taken out by an Israeli Tammuz missile. Colonel Abbas takes us to an observation point and shows us where the mortars were fired.
For 3 days, the Syrian anti-aircraft position fired at our patrols and hit them.
The Syrian rebels control this area down in the valley below me. Now, the Syrian military has cut it off from the rest of the country. Israeli defense forces say that they've observed the Syrian army and the rebels engaged in hand-to-hand combat just in this forest right down here. This has been happening all up and down the front. That's why the army is on high alert. Israel is quickly putting up a 130-kilometer fence. That, along with the buildup of forces here, indicate that the IDF are taking this latest menace very seriously. Vladimir Duthier, CNN, the Golan Heights.